The cafeteria buzzed with the clatter of trays, laughter, and whispers as the new girl, Alina, pushed open the heavy double doors with her trembling hands clutching the strap of her worn-out backpack, her head slightly bowed, as though she could hide from the 100 curious eyes already darting her way, and though she tried to keep her breathing steady. The pounding in her chest betrayed the fear she had carried since morning, when she stepped into this new school where reputations were already carved like stone and outsiders were often tested with cruelty. Yet she moved forward, her long dark hair brushing across her pale cheeks, her old faded jeans and oversized hoodie failing to mask the quiet confidence she carried deep inside, a strength no one in that room could possibly imagine. Not even the pack of bullies leaning against the corner table. Marcus, the tall self-proclaimed leader with his cruel smirk, Dana, his loud-mouthed girlfriend who thrived on humiliating others, and Liam, the muscle who laughed at every insult thrown, their eyes locking on Alina as though a prey had wandered straight into their territory. And as she walked past with her tray of food shaking slightly in her grip, she heard the first whispers, the mocking chuckles, the deliberate comments about her thrift store clothes. But she kept moving, refusing to let their venom pierce her calm exterior, until suddenly a hand shot out, Marcus's hand, yanking at the strap of her backpack so sharply that it slipped from her shoulder and clattered to the ground, spilling her books and a small lunchbox onto the cafeteria floor, laughter exploding around them, as if the entire hall had been waiting for this moment. And though her cheeks flushed red and her fists tightened, she quietly bent down to gather her belongings, her silence only fueling their taunts, until Dana sneered and leaned in to whisper loud enough for all to hear, maybe she should crawl for her food too. And Liam gave a shove to her tray, sending her sandwich sliding onto the floor, the laughter growing crueler, echoing like a chorus of wolves. And that was the moment Alina's patience snapped. Not in tears, not in begging, but in a calm, terrifying silence that made the laughter falter for just a second as she stood, her eyes no longer timid but burning with an icy fire. Her posture shifting from a shy girl to something entirely different, something dangerous, her voice steady yet sharp as she said, "Pick it up." And though Marcus laughed louder, reaching again for her strap to humiliate her further, what happened next silenced the entire cafeteria. For in one swift, fluid motion she twisted his arm, pivoted her body, and sent him crashing against the table with a thud that rattled trays and froze mouths mid-laughter. Dana's scream piercing the air as Alina moved with frightening precision, catching Liam's wrist before his massive hand could touch her, slamming him down with a force that knocked the wind from his chest, and then turning on Marcus again as he staggered to his feet, only to be swept back down with a kick that cracked across the floor like thunder, the crowd now gasping, phones slipping from hands, eyes wide in disbelief as the cafeteria transformed from a stage of humiliation to a battlefield where bodies hit the ground one after another. Alina standing tall in the center, not a strand of hair out of place, her breathing controlled, her face unreadable, and in that silence, as the bullies groaned and clutched their bruises, the students finally realized the truth. The new girl was not weak, not prey, but a storm they had foolishly provoked. And though teachers rushed in too late to see the cause, the legend of that moment was already sealed in every stunned gaze, every whisper spreading like wildfire. "Don't mess with her." And as Alina calmly picked up her tray from the floor, brushed the dust from her lunchbox, and walked to the far corner table without a word, the cafeteria remained frozen, the bullies scattered on the floor, a living warning. And though she didn't look back, everyone knew she had changed the rules of the school forever. Because sometimes the quietest arrivals carried the loudest echoes, and this was only the beginning of her story. If you want to see how her journey unfolds, how the storm inside Alina reshapes not just her life, but everyone who dared cross her, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because the next chapter will leave you breathless.